Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 40 of Small Bites. I am super excited to be here. If you are here, say hey, say what's up, say hey, ho, all of that good stuff. Hey, Tracy, I love you so much. Hey, Mama. I don't know if she's listening, but if she's listening. Oh, 40 episodes. I would like to thank you for making this journey with me, Tracy. You have been here every step of the way. Yeah, for real. Yeah, you've been here every step of the way. Meanwhile, you've launched your own business. I'm super excited to be supporting you in that. If you do not know Dr. Tracy Nicole Smith, check her out online. Her Instagram posts are always uplifting. Her blog posts will kind of just get you in the mind to cast off some of the heaviness that this year has given us all. I don't know if you know Tracy, Anna Savino. She's also doing some work really talking about healing and, attracting blessings. If you guys don't know each other, I'm meaning to connect you because you guys work in the same area, and it's a super important thing this year. I was talking to her earlier about speak. Okay, so there we go. Anna, Tracy, y'all are both here. Make sure you connect there. How about me for just like fairy godmothering things into the universe. We were talking about just this week and how hard it's been, how I was excited. Yeah, 40 episodes. Wow, check it out. And I'm still full of information and ideas. And I'm so excited. And I've been looking forward to this. And I am doing Q Boom later. So I have my whole setup. So I was looking forward to doing the whole 40 festive thing. And then, thank you. And then the shootings happened. And that just kind of took me down because that happened. Then my son went out for his run and he said, yeah, Mom, you know that older guy we told you about, he's kind of mean and cranky. I said, yeah. He said, yeah. He asked me why I was in the neighborhood. And that's like, that guy, but he lives like literally up the street, like about 10 houses down. Yeah, well, he did. And then after that, there was, went walking with a friend of mine on yesterday, and we were in a park, and I thought, oh, a really nice day. And I noticed that the flags were at half mast. Thank you, Cedar Hill, City of Cedar Hill. And then we heard gunshots. And I thought, God, what else? We got the pandemic and we got now we've got a 10% rise in cases. And there's just so many things that left me not feeling celebratory. But what I thought was, that's all the more reason to celebrate because it's not like I hang out on Fridays and grab a glass of wine with my girls. I'm going to do that too. But I am providing information for people so that maybe even though 40 episodes hasn't seen a drastic change, I know from the people who've written me, for people who've DM'd, that there are people who are learning and changing what they do and serving their families and their students differently because of what they learn here on Small Bites. And that's what this is all about. And so that gives me the reason to celebrate. I would like to say, hey, Tim, I appreciate you. You guys are just really, 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 really supportive. People that I've met through Dave Hennel and the Crazy PLN. I am so excited and so appreciative because you guys pop in. Hello, Dr. Griffin. I appreciate you joining us. Just the people that I've met through Twitter. It's like I met you guys just in the nick of time. I don't know if you know Bonnie Raitt. Love in the nick of time. That's her thing. And that's what this has been like, knowing people just in the nick of time, because the pandemic changed how we socialize so much. So I've really gotten some real relationships. And I think everybody here, I've almost had some kind of a real conversation with you. I've had some kind of a a DM conversation or a text conversation, more than just, we meet out in the Twitter sphere. And so I want to thank you all for that. Hey, Barbara. So we got California, we've got New York, we've got New Orleans. Dr. Griffin, where you from? We've got Tim, who is, I want to say Nebraska, but I am unfortunately kind of geographically challenged, and it's like up there. And then, my baby's here. My son is coming. Keisha, hey, Hawaii in the house. Oh, Champagne. Could you give me that for real? That would be kind of cool. All right, we got New Yorkers, a couple of them. For real, Tim, where is it again? Where are you from? I forgot. Like I said, Nebraska, was that right? Am I right? Nebraska, Nevada. Somewhere very cold. North of Texas. Yep, I got it right. Whoop, whoop. All right. So I want to go ahead and get started and tell you a little bit about what I've been thinking this week for 40 episodes. Omaha, Nebraska. See, main town. I love it. The main thing I want to tell you guys is that this is the beginning of a kind of a new era. I will not always have all of this, but I will be live every Friday night instead of giving you a pre-recorded. There might be some exceptions if I'm traveling or if I'm going to be on vacation, but from today going forward, I will be live every Friday night. So I'm super excited. I would like to invite you guys to ask your questions, on Twitter during the week, or hit me up on Instagram. I wouldn't try Facebook. I'm there sometimes, but basically Twitter is the main way. If you have a question or something that you want me to talk about, I would like to use this space as a more interactive space. So that's super important. Yep, 40, 40, 40. And the other thing I would like to tell you is that there will be the occasional guest. The current series starts off with Charles from the Counter Network podcast, and I'm just asking him one question. I won't let it all out, but there will be a one question educator series with what do you call those things? Interviews. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Those will be not on the YouTube channel, but those will be on the podcast. So Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll be able to find those there. All right. The other thing I would like to tell you is that I almost decided to just exclusively go podcast, but I joined the podcast network over at Teach Better, and they said, "Oh, you're so good on camera, don't do that." And I said, "Okay, all right." But going live is going to be a whole lot more fun than spending the time editing, because I can spend that extra time with you. So the one thing I've got for this week for you is, as you know, the news cycle has been all about, a lot of things, but the thing that hit me the hardest was the shootings in Georgia, where 8 lives were lost, and among them, 6 Asian women. And that, do I have my numbers right? 6 women, 4. Anyway, it's been kind of bugging me the whole week. And I started reading the news when it happened, and honestly, I've had to stop. I resent the fact that the headlines read, "The massage parlor shootings," and people were commenting things like, well, if you're a sex worker, then, that's what happens. Those kinds of things are just wrong. Just wrong in so many ways. I would hope that if I was in some kind of a desperate situation and that was my life's choice, that somebody would mourn my death. I would hope that if I were somebody that nobody had ever heard of, that my death would be mourned, that I would not be judged, that I would not be made light of because of my life's choices or what I did. No one should have to die at the hand of a crazed gunman or of a gun. No one should have to be shot while doing their job, whatever their job is. And that really cut me to my core, because when I started Small Bites right after George Floyd's death, it was, well, he had a record. Or, well, I heard he was trying to pass off money, counterfeit money. And those are the things that we do over and over again to kind of smooth over the fact that we've got some real problems. I don't talk in terms of isms and phobes because it shuts people down. But if you have friends who you know have a hard time getting to this as an attack on the Asian community or systemic attacks that affect BIPOC, BIPOC, you see that all the time. Just in case, let me define that term. It's Black, Indigenous, and people of color. That's really what this episode is all about. Things that happened in the Asian community, things that like what happened to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, those things are not just, oh, well, that's Black racism. Oh, well, that's Asian racism. They all intersect at a place that says that we have a deep and abiding systemic problem here in our country. And that problem says that people who are non-white are not valued. And it's hard to hear if you are white sometimes. And I nobody wants to feel, well, I'm not a racist. I didn't do anything bad. That may very well be true. But the fact of the matter is that the system still stands. And if you look around you, who are the CEOs? Who are the people in Congress? Who are the people who run Hollywood? Who are the people who run big tech? Those are going to be generally white males. Our founding fathers were white males. So it was decades, centuries before women got to vote, or before, did you know that women only got to get credit cards in the 70s? You had to have a man sign for you. So those things are important to know so that we see it not as a personal attack. And I'm talking more or less to my less melanated brothers and sisters. Don't feel attacked when you hear those things, and don't feel that people of color are playing the victim. It's just that the systems are set up to favor whites and to put non-whites at disadvantages. And even if it's just by it's not on purpose in some cases it is, but that's another podcast. Some cases it's just the advantage automatically puts people at a disadvantage. So I want you to make sure that you are aware. Don't be disconnected. We are all interconnected. Fannie Lou Hamer said, nobody's free until everybody's free. And that's the super important lesson that I want you to hear, that it does not matter what color you are, what you identify as, or who your people around you are in your bubble. We're all interconnected. And where we are right now as a country is a bad place, because we are all just fighting about it. Well, who's BIPOC? And I'm indigenous, I'm not Black. Well, I'm Black and I'm not Asian. I'm Asian, I'm not. The bottom line is white, Black, Asian, indigenous, and other brown people of color, it does not matter. All of the communities that have been marginalized, if we are not supporting each other, all of us working together toward one big United States, united, underline the word united, then we are going to destroy ourselves from within. All right, that is the vignette part. Let me go ahead and get to your strategies. Of course, I have those. If you have 20 to 30 minutes, read this Bostonia article by Catherine Caldwell Harris at Kath C. Harris on Twitter. And it's on cross-cultural psychology and respecting the other side. Dive into some of her hyperlinks, but more importantly, reflect how you can make every disagreement a chance to learn. For you, and if you're a teacher, for your students. If you have 15 to 20 minutes, read this Best Life article from Sarah G. Crow and write down at least 2 people or groups for each strategy you're going to implement. And yes, the people can be public people that you actually have no valid reason to hate because you don't know them. You only know their public persona. If you have 10 to 15 minutes, compare and contrast this Chris Bodenner article on religion and AIDS in the 80s and these horrendous comments in the wake of the Orlando Club Pulse shooting that had kind of subtle and not so subtle victim shaming of the 8 people who were gunned down. Well, just compare it. The people who were gunned down in the Atlantic spas and the people of the 80s who had AIDS and the people who were shot in Club Pulse. There was this undercurrent of, oh, well, and we've got to do better. And when I say we, let me specifically call out the Christian community. Guys, we've got to do better. It's God's thing to judge and not ours. All right, don't let me get on a rant. If you have 5 to 10 minutes, I would like you to review media coverage on the shooting from Fox, AP, OANN, CNN, and your local news outlets. Skim the articles or watch video and look for language that conveys bias. In case you're not sure what that means, I have a link from Fair Media Watch so you can kind of learn and challenge yourself. This is a great thing to do with your family and with your students as well. If you have, finally, 0 to 5 minutes, read some of the comments to the above articles. Are we where you thought we were as a country? What things did you read that were surprising? What can you do in your corner of the world to help reduce the lack of humanity seen in some of those feeds? All right. That is it for Small Bites today. It's still Small Bites. I would like to ask if you have questions, you can drop those. Oh, I love that. United, UNI, united, and universal. Lead with love. The last word is love. And I know, guys, don't get me wrong. When my son came home and said, Mama, he asked me, why I was in this neighborhood. Yeah, I was hot. I'm ready to go down. I'm ready to go knock on his door. However, what am I going to say when I get there? What should I say? I heard that you told my child. Probably not going to get a good response. Now, if I happen to see him in the yard, then I can say, hi, I heard you thought my son didn't live here. We live down the street. Hi, I'm Hedrick. How are you? Yeah, it kind of hurt him and made us feel unwelcome in our own neighborhood. I'm sure you didn't mean that, though. Have a nice day. Because will I feel 100% like that? No, I probably want to knock him upside his head and don't you talk to my son like this. We belong here. But that's not going to help. So I try to take a tone so that we can all get to a place where we are not so awful to each other so much of the time. Until next Friday live, be safe. Come by with friends, drop me a question, drop me a comment. Thank you so much for the congratulations. Anna, you keep talking about that research paper, but I know it was a long time ago, but you won't give up she will not give up the research paper. I think that you should all go ahead and find her on Twitter and tell her to republish her research paper as a blog post. Just saying. All right, Keisha, Tim, Dr. Griffin, Barbara, Anna, Tracy, everybody else, if you did not drop your name in, I still want to say thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate you, Chris, baby. I love you. I'm coming to get you in a little bit. And thank you all. Have a wonderful week. Be safe. And I'll see you next Friday right here on Small Bites.